The year we've just finished has presented us with events that have tested our mettle repeatedly with onslaughts of anxiety, loneliness, sickness, and social upheaval, all of which discourage much reflection. It's not that the past year has been any worse than severely trying times in history, but our experiences since March of 2020 have been characterized by a level of sustained difficulty that makes reflection uniquely challenging.
All right, how are you?
For us, Sandra and I, thinking back, it's hard to recall what the beginning of 2020 was like. Certainly not as chaotic or threatening as 2021. We had the anticipation of our annual siblings vacation, which we took to the mountains of North Carolina, sort of in isolation, had a good time. There was a possum party, which was dreamed up and directed by our 3-year-old great granddaughter who's watching today, I see. That may have been the highlight of our year. But I've cobbled together a presentation sort of centered around the song that probably is most representative of New Year's celebrations, Old Lang Syne, or in translation, Long, Long Ago, or Old Long Since. I'm sure a lot of you know better than I. It's a composition of the poet Robert Burns in the latter half of the 18th century. The song quickly gained popularity and became a standard of New Year's Eve festivities. Its opening rhetorical questions encouraging eager partygoers to reflect upon the year coming to a close before celebrating the year to come. I wish I had Jerry Murphy's brogue to read this, but I won't subject you to my version of a Scottish brogue. But I will read the words. And should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot in days of Old Lang Syne? The song's first two stanzas and chorus seem fit for a cheerful Scottish pub where celebrants offer each other winks and drinks for the sake of the good old days. Then the song takes a turn by offering a couple of verses in which a fond memory is followed with a sobering reality. This could be the acknowledgement of the balance between the happy and sad elements of the past, or the movement of positive to negative to emphasize how the passage of time often coincides with increased hardship. Regardless, these verses recognize the reality of sad memories while insisting on the return in the chorus, that the affirmation of time's Old Lang Syne. We too have run about the hills and picked the daisies fine, but we've wandered many a weary foot since Old Lang Syne. We too have paddled in the stream from morning sun till dine, but seas between us broad have roared since Old Lang Syne. This abrupt transition from sad recollection to celebratory affirmation might have something to tell us about how we should make sense of our experiences more generally. Before this year, the presence of reflection usually amounted to taking inventory of the happy and sad moments of the past year, the ups and downs, before moving on, under the sunny impression that all in all, we've had a lot to be grateful for. But what if the period we're reflecting on has been overly hard for many of us and pain has prevailed? What if our difficulties carry right up to the present and give little indication of abating? Then our gratitude fails in offering comfort when we most need it. It's when we're forced to reckon with the pervasiveness of our pain, that's when we fall back on the adage that, well, it could have been worse, but this is just weighing bad against bad instead of good against bad. Not the positive affirmation of life we're seeking when we reflect. At this point, we might resign ourselves to a bit of sad, but perhaps somewhat refreshing realism. Well, it's been rough, but that's just life, we say. When we abandon the pleasure-pain matrix, we're left with nothing but a brute fact. Overall, life has been difficult. On the other hand, if we accept that our pleasurable and painful experiences only constitute the setting within which the substance of our story has been playing out, then all of our experiences suddenly have the capacity to become meaningful. Our experiences are precious, but only in light of some underlying value which they contain and most often conceal from us. However, we may wish to ask, this is all well and good in theory, but how could one theme draw together such disparate experiences as we encounter in life? What is this dynamic meaning underlying our experiences? In terms of the song, how can we celebrate picking daisies fine alongside wearisome wandering, or raise a glass to paddling streams together alongside our estrangement across broad seas? It would seem that after all is said and done, Old Lang Syne points us to relationships as that alone which makes our memories worth celebrating, and indeed, there are celebrations possible at all. Without relationship, our past experience are often nothing but a sorry fact. But when they call to mind friends with whom we have, as the saying goes, walked through thick and thin, these memories not only have the ability to comfort us in isolation, but also provide the impetus for our gathering together. And there's a hand, my trusty friend, and give me a hand of thine, and we'll take a right goodwill draft for Old Lang Syne. For Old Lang Syne, my dear, for Old Lang Syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for Old Lang Syne. It seems our supreme task and greatest joy lies in the vocation of friendship, demanding of us that for which we long, a life of bearing one another's burdens, sharing each other's delights. For friendship is quite simply any relationship characterized by that disposition of the heart, signified by the mysterious word which stands forth from the repetition of the chorus like embossed script. That is kindness. May we all resolve to make kindness a priority in our relationship for the new year and after. That includes kindness to oneself also. We're all in this together. Thank you.